Hey, what's going on, guys? Sand Motion here, back with another What If on the channel, and in this video, we're continuing the theory of if Goten had trained. By Goten training, I mean all throughout the entire series, from the Buu Saga all the way to the very end. And I mean non-stop training too, having heard of his father and brother's stories. He wanted to be just like them, so he would pay little to no attention to studying and become a martial artist. With that background info, let's get into the recap. In the last part, we saw the Gohan Black Arc, and at the start, it went well for the Zamasus, but they did definitely underestimate the Z-Fighters. Altogether, the Z-Fighters are able to do a lot better against them. With them having the numbers, stamina, and power advantage, Black and Zamasu have to retreat. That's where we left off in the last part. Before we begin this one, I have 3 announcements. The first one, of course, being, let's hit 25 likes, and when we do, I'll continue with another part. But the second one is thanks to Moha Set If, who will be linked down in the description. He's an amazing artist who has kindly blessed this series with a grown-up Goten and Trunks. If you guys like fan art, and good fan art, go check him out. From now on, we will be using the 2 renders for Goten and Trunks, the adult versions, and they're beautiful. So thanks to Moha. And with that shout out, let's get into the final announcement. And you must have noticed by now that I sound completely different in this video. Maybe a little quiet, so maybe turn up your volume so you can hear me. But it is, of course, I have a new microphone. Now, if you guys watched, hopefully, if I was able to get out the video, yesterday's video was me explaining my new setup and the new microphone. I basically opened it and set it up. I just didn't show building it because that would have been really boring, and it took me a long while to do so. So, if you hear any background noise, ignore it, and you probably won't. Just a fair warning. And if you hear me being quiet, just turn it up, but the microphone quality is definitely much better than it was before. So, yeah, with that, let's get into the video. With Black and Zamasu retreating, they know they have to come up with a plan. For now, all they know is they don't have any advantage, and they need to do something to get either the Z-Fighters' numbers down, kill one of them, or make up something. Maybe even fuse at this point. But they don't have to do that, because lucky for them, they don't have to. At this point, Vegeta and Trunks would tell the rest of the group. They know that Zamasu is immortal, so the entire group would end up splitting. Goku and Vegeta would go back for Goku to learn the Mafuba to trap Zamasu, and Vegeta to train and come back stronger. Although he is strong, he isn't as strong as Gohan or Goku, and individually he won't be able to take down Gohan Black, even if he were to fight him. He knows that if he trains up in the time chamber, then he will be, while Goku ends up learning the Mafuba himself. But as the two leave, Gohan and Trunks stay back, because they should be more than enough to guard the future timeline for now. And they stay back because that's basically their job. And Black and Zamasu, of course, sense that Goku and Vegeta are gone. They clearly can't be sensed anymore. Either they went deep undercover or something else happened. And clearly they go with the latter. But moving forward, both Trunks and Gohan are very good at hiding their ki as well, so they don't let the two sense them or catch up to them. The hideout bunker in the original series was surprisingly a secret to Black and Zamasu, so they wouldn't be able to find them here because I don't see any reason why they would. But with Gohan and Trunks staying back, they're able to reinforce the small resistance they all have. Another thing would be to teach the soldiers some stuff about fighting. Now, I think that it was stupidly dumb that Trunks had a whole resistance and didn't really do anything with them. Now, I agree he didn't have any time, but now he does. Trunks and Gohan would go out to get resources and start to teach some fighting to the resistance. Everyone is interested and are encouraged to do something. And Yajirobe is one of the noticeable ones. He ends up training. He notices that everybody else wants to, and so he decides for old time's sake he should help out. This helps him gather more stuff so they can rebuild and reinforce, with Gohan and Trunks being the protectors. Yajirobe might even become a vigilante eventually like he used to be. Just look out for that because he's actually pretty strong. Much stronger than a normal human. Some people don't really know that. But back in the normal timeline, both Goku and Vegeta's separate training comes to an end. Goku gets a container and meets Vegeta at the time machine, heading back to the future. Just as they arrive, both Black and Zamasu completely notice that they're here, and they both realize that this is their time to strike. Both Gohan and Trunks are far away as Goku and Vegeta just arrived, so that's what they would end up doing. Black has gotten a little bit stronger, not too strong than he was before, but it's still something. Goku and Vegeta are much stronger, and the two end up arriving just for the other two to show up attacking them. Vegeta's training was good. Really good. So he's able to hold off Black pretty easily while Zamasu fights Goku. Of course, Zamasu is the target here. Goku would end up knocking him down to the ground and then would start to use the Mafuba, and it works. He's even able to trap Zamasu in the container. But when he goes to seal it, he realizes that, well, there is no seal. That's right, Goku is a complete idiot and forgot the seal just like the original series. Gohan and Trunks then show up and realize what's happening. They know that this Zamasu won't be contained for too long, so they try their best to hold him down while somebody looks to do something. But they have nothing to do so, and with their hands it only works for so long. Back on the other hand though, Vegeta and Gohan Black's fight is raging on, with Vegeta absolutely manhandling him. Vegeta is demolishing Black with little to no effort. Gohan Black is getting tossed around like a doll. It's like what Goku Black was doing, but maybe even worse. So, the two Zamasus then regroup, with Zamasu getting out of their container thingy. And they realize it's not worth the risk anymore. They know that they have to fuse. Gohan Black is easily going to lose this fight, and he could easily be killed. And Zamasu now realizes him being immortal doesn't mean anything. He could just get sealed and be sent away. So they decide to fuse and fused Zamasu. And he's born. The divine being is extremely powerful. The group are all at full strength and have more senzus and are stronger, but even that might not be enough, as Zamasu himself is just far too strong. Even after Trunks finally achieves Super Saiyan Rage, that's not even enough to defeat the godly being. Even everybody else helping along isn't enough, but eventually they're on their last two senzus, and that's when something happens. The Kai show up. I think you guys know where this is going. The two tell the fighters about the Potara earrings, and this is actually the first time they're hearing or being showed this because it wasn't needed against Buu. With Gowasu here, he knows about the Potara earrings, so he tells them it's not permanent against mortals. So that's good to know for them. Goku and Vegeta aren't the ones to fuse, but instead we get a Goku and Gohan fusion. That's right, for the first time ever, Gohan is born. And Gohan is extremely strong, even stronger than Vegito. Now immediately he jumps into Super Saiyan Blue. This fusion has Gohan in it, so it's much smarter. That doesn't mean not cocky, just smarter. Gohan knows he only has 1 hour, and immediately he starts to fight Fuse Zamasu, who is actually putting up a good fight, but Gohan is just far too strong. And Zamasu eventually gets all weird and gets struck by lightning or whatever, then gets the giant arm and everything. Gohan is confused, but he continues on the fight. And this fight is going better than with Vegeta because Gohan is so much stronger. He's able to land a powerful kick down to the ground, sending Zamasu down there, and he then prepares his final Super Kamehameha, which he fires, possibly erasing Zamasu. But little does the fusion know, Zamasu actually gets stronger from this. He becomes like a planet or something? That's right, he becomes infinite Zamasu. And just as that happens, something unfortunate also happens. Gohan defuses into Gohan and Goku. That's not good. They use their last resort, with Goku touching in to find any more senzus. He realizes he has something else, the Zeno button. He calls for Zeno, who then erases the universe, and then they meet present Zeno, who then come up with a plan to start the Tournament of Power. But the Trunks is still going back to an alternate timeline because Zeno kind of erased his, and that whole thing happens, which we'll never find out. Well, at least I hope we find out someday, but for now, we have no idea what it is. So, the Tournament of Power, it ends up starting. But first, the exhibit match is what happens, and we have 3 fighters here, and you guys are going to be pretty happy to see who. First of all, Goku, much like the original series, and Gohan. But the last part includes of Goten, the entire Sun family against Universe 9. Goku wanted to see what Goten can do, so he puts him on the team, and he knows Goten is much stronger. We haven't visited Goten or Trunks in a while, but both have been keeping up with their training, and in their ultimate forms, they're so much stronger than what Gohan was in the original series. And Gohan was contesting with the Super Saiyan Blue Goku. These guys can probably contest with the Mastered Super Saiyan Blue Goku. Probably even the Gohan in this series they can probably contest with. But good enough for them, Goten is actually the one in particular who participates and fights none other than Basel himself. Basel doesn't put up much of a fight. Goten is easily able to block every single kick that comes towards him. He would then power up to Super Saiyan himself as a yellow golden aura surrounds him. He will use one of his own kicks and sends Basel flying down to the ground. As he faces down to the ground, Goten somehow gets behind him, punching him straight in the face, knocking him the other way. As Basel then lies on the ground, Goten comes up to him and kicks him out of the ring, knocking him out and claiming Goten the victor. Next up, we have Gohan's fight, which goes slightly different because Lavender actually isn't that much of a threat to him. Gohan would be easily able to take Lavender down. He might not even get poisoned, but even if he does, he's much stronger, so after getting poisoned, he would take Lavender down regardless. He has much stronger punches, much stronger kicks, and much smart of a fighter because he fights a lot more. And lastly, Goku's fight. And it goes pretty much normal. After he defeats Bergamo, Toppo jumps in much like the original series, and Goku fights him in Super Saiyan Blue. It's just a bit more easy for him than in the original series, but eventually the Grand Prix shows up and he's like, hey, stop this at once. You guys want to save this for the Tournament of Power. And he does so. But the Grand Prix then announces everything about the stipulations for the tournament. Goten is freaking out about the whole universe erase thing, but he knows all he has to do is win. He has the Sun family thing. But now, the Sun family have to look for 7 fighters as the tournament then closes in. But that's all we have for today, guys. Hope you did enjoy this video, and if you did, make sure to leave a like and subscribe. 25 likes, and we'll continue with another part. Make sure to hit the bell to be part of the Super Saiyan 4s, and let me know your thoughts and suggestions down in the comment section. If you made it this far into the video, go check out Just George and Queef. If you want to see me play Among Us, it's always on their channels because I play with them around. And for now, I'll see you in the next one.